How are you doing today? My name is Celia. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name's Suzanne.
Well, I'm so excited to be here and assist you today. Just right off the bat, is there anything that you want to tell me and let me know first things first, or can I just...
So, yeah, I'm going through a really rough time right now, and I just really need someone to help me make some decisions. So I've been living with my boyfriend for the past 4 years now, and I think I'm pregnant.
Okay, so let me just tell you first, anything you say in here, this is a safe space. It's going to stay between me and you, unless, of course, it's your harm to yourself or others. I have to say that, but so let's talk about your boyfriend a little bit. What's his name?
His name's Jack.
Jack, okay, and so you've been together for 4 years. That's a pretty long time. Have you lived with him this whole time?
Yeah, I dropped out of high school at 16 and started living with him at 18.
Gotcha, I see. So I feel, so from what I'm seeing is that you've been with him and that he's been your support system for this whole time, or are you guys kind of like co-supporters in this relationship?
Well, Jack and I's relationship's really interesting.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so when I was young, I had a pretty rough childhood. My dad left when I was about 10, and he was a heavy drinker, and I guess kind of to cope with that, I started smoking marijuana and started drinking, and Jack actually introduced me to heroin.
Gotcha.
And it's been kind of a problem for a while now.
So heroin, is that the only drug that you use, Suzanne?
If I can't get heroin, I'll try to score some Klonopy, some Valium. I tried cocaine, but I didn't like the way the high made me feel.
So what do you like about heroin then, if I can ask?
So heroin really calms my nerves, especially when I'm working.
Okay, what do you do for work?
I am a prostitute. I work at night, work the streets.
Gotcha. Well, can I just ask, how long have you been involved in prostitution?
I guess since I want to say about 3 years now.
And how did you kind of get into this work practice?
Well, I was scoring some horse, and a guy asked for how much for an hour, and I never really considered that before, and it was just an easy way to make money, and we always needed money because Jack doesn't work, so I'm kind of the money maker.
And how does that make you feel that you're the primary supporter of this relationship?
I've never been asked that question. I guess it's a little scary because with my job, it's just really scary. I never know what's going on, and I just don't know what other jobs I could get into.
Right. Well, are you aware of any of the services out there for any kind of, safe sex, condoms that you can be provided with, any of that?
Yeah, I always wear a condom with my clients.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. So it's always good to be safe, especially in that line of work. I know how scary it can really be. So I did hear you mention at the beginning that you think you're pregnant. Right. So what are the symptoms that you're experiencing with that?
So I haven't had my period in about 12 weeks now, and my breasts are just really tender and swollen, and I just don't know.
Have you done anything to go about this thought of pregnant? Have you taken a pregnancy test or anything?
No, I just kind of assumed I was.
Okay. Well, if you want to, I can help you with any kind of resources to get you that, like a test, maybe kind of see how far along you are. If you are pregnant, of course, we can work on that later.
That'd be great.
So again, I was asking about Jack earlier. Sorry to bounce back, but so Jack, what does he do then? I hate to put, but what does he do all day since he doesn't work?
He just plays video games, uses heroin, drinks,
Nothing.
parties.
And how does that make you feel?
I guess before coming in, I had no problem with it. It's just, I guess now that I potentially have a baby coming in,
Right.
it's a little worrisome.
Yeah, I understand. Have you talked with him about this possibility of pregnancy?
Yeah, I also talked to one of the girls I work with, and they both want me to keep the baby, but they don't think I should stop working or using. And I don't know if that's right. She thinks that using dope, if I stop using, it would harm the baby. And yeah, I have no clue what would.
I can definitely see how she would think that. That is a very common misconception. I mean, of course, I don't want to tell you, what you should and should not do, but I would advise you to just possibly read a little bit more about the risks of using while pregnant. But, I can also, provide you with some of those resources that you can read about, but, we can get through this together, Suzanne. There is a lot of things we can do to really get you through all of this, anxiety that you're experiencing and all of what you're going through right now. But can I just ask you, what are your long-term goals, Suzanne?
Wow, I've never been asked that question either. I guess, well, when I was little, I always wanted to be a teacher. I do love kids, and now that I may have one, I guess now I just want to be the best mother I can.
Yeah, I can see that. It can be really exciting to be pregnant and to be having a kid on the way. So you dropped out at 16. Have you thought about going back to school or anything like that?
I thought about it, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know the right way to go about applying for school, where they even offer classes.
Right. It can be tough to navigate, especially in this world right now after COVID. There are a lot of online courses available and a lot of student aid that we could, set you up with if you want to look into that, because I think that could be a very good thing for you to have this long-term goal that you're working towards. Again, having a kid on the way and everything, you want to start thinking a little bit more about yourself, Suzanne, rather than yourself in your relationship with Jack, because you've been with him for a very long time, and I can understand that it can be hard to separate yourself from yourself in this relationship. How do you feel when you're with Jack?
We always are just in a relaxed state when we're together, because we're just always using. We use about, I want to say, half a gram a day.
Yeah.
And
that can get expensive.
It can. That's another reason why it's just troublesome that Jack doesn't work and it all falls on me, and it's just,
that's a lot to put on
it's so
yourself.
Overwhelming. It's so overwhelming.
It's a lot to put on yourself. I mean, I can already see you're experiencing a little bit of anxiety just talking about it right now. Just take a deep breath. This is a safe space. Again, whatever you say in here, I'm not going to go and tell Jack or anything. But so it is mainly just heroin, you said, right? Yes, that is going to be a very difficult one to wean off of. So I can understand why they would recommend that you just keep using to protect yourself and how you feel. How do you feel right now in this moment, just being here with me?
not gonna lie, a little nervous.
I understand.
Telling just a stranger all this stuff is,
Yeah.
it's hard, but I'm just such in a predicament, I feel like, and I just really need some guidance on.
Well, I'm very happy you came here to see me. I really am. This was a good move. This was good. This was good for you to do. So we talked about your long-term goals. Do you have any short-term goals for just tomorrow, for after this appointment even?
I hope I make it home safely.
Of course, of course. So what I really want to talk about a little bit more is your childhood, essentially. We did not get into that too much. Can you tell me a little bit more about your parents? I think you said your dad has left you when you were pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
What was your mom like then?
So, my mom and I stuck by each other. She's a great woman. She has put up with all my BS. She's a good woman.
Yes.
But when I started living with Jack, I just cut ties with her. I kind of cut ties with everybody back home.
Right. So you've been just relying on him for a pretty long time, it seems like.
Yeah, it's just been me and Jack for a while now.
Mhm. Gotcha. So from the sound of that, you have been pretty much essentially on your own a little bit then too for a good amount of time, because Jack, he doesn't give you much support. So I can understand why you feel so alone and so nervous being here too. It is a lot to talk about. Well, do you have anyone else other than Jack that supports you? Friends, or you mentioned your coworker? Is she a support system in your life?
Yeah, I love talking to my girls, but I rarely see them out of work.
Gotcha.
They have their own lives, and yeah, so it's,
Do any of them use drugs as well?
yeah, a majority of the girls do, cause yeah, like alcohol, a lot of them drink too, cause it always calms the nerves.
Manhattan has a pretty big party life as well, so I can see how it can be hard to get away from all of that too, especially just walking home from work. You know,
Yeah.
passed by at least 12 bars, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would just advise you to continue those like relationships and those support systems with people other than him. It can be hard because you do live with him, but I would just advise, possibly once a week, grabbing a dinner or a lunch with somebody, even though I know that can be expensive, maybe even just a walk in the park can be good to just talk to somebody that you love and that you love like speaking to as well. That can be really good start, so then you're a little more comfortable talking about all of this. Well, Suzanne, do you have anything else you want to talk to me about?
Well, I guess after we set up a pregnancy test and to determine if I'm pregnant, how do I know what's good for my baby and not?
Right. So there are going to be a lot of resources online for that. There's a couple of courses too that I could put you in, either online or in person, of course. No fear or anything. I will take care of all of that for you. But there are a lot of resources that I could set you up with, a lot of websites that I will send over to you. It's hard to know what's good for your baby or not, but as long as you read and do the research, then you'll learn eventually on what to do and how to better handle this. Do you plan on keeping the baby? I think you, right. Well, there's also resources for that as well for when the baby does come, clothes, formula, food, all that stuff. We can also get you set up with that as well. Have you heard of any kind of these resources before?
I've heard
Planned Parenthood.
I've heard of Planned Parenthood,
Right.
but I never stopped in for
Right.
one.
Well, if you don't want to go on your own, I'm more than happy to accompany you to any of your appointments or anything you want to go to. I know it can be scary walking in somewhere by yourself.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate
Of
that.
course, of course. So let's just talk a little bit more. So your work. I know you said you wanted to do anything you can to help the baby. Your work, I don't want to, sound, what am I trying to say? I don't want to sound judgmental at all, but your work is potentially harmful for a pregnant woman. Now that I've told you that, do you plan on going about that?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what other jobs that would work for me.
Right.
With working at night, it's just my own hours and
Right.
And yeah, since I didn't go to school, I don't know what other jobs would take someone like me. I have no experience.
There are plenty of jobs that would take someone like you, Suzanne, because you are able, you are smart, and you are wonderful. I mean, I'm more than happy as well to help you look up, some places that are potentially hiring that you could work during the day, so you can get back on a normal kind of schedule about it. Because that can be hard as well, staying up all night, walking, doing stuff like that. There's a bunch of resources for that, again, online or in person as well, that I can help you look at. But what I would advise you to do, Suzanne, is just potentially either cut back on your hours of working right now, or just halt all together, even though I know that can be kind of difficult to wrap your mind around because of rent and all of your expenses. But I will help you find something, that can work for you and for how, your lifestyle is every day. Well, again, I'm very happy we met, Suzanne. Is there anything else that I can assist you with today?
I guess, what do I do about my drug use? I can't see myself
Cutting cold
stopping.
turkey. Well, going cold turkey is never recommended. I'm sure you've heard that term before. Again, there are resources available online, but what I would recommend doing, kind of like your work, is just, cutting down slowly but surely, because if you stop and, all at once, that can be really harmful to yourself and to your baby with the withdrawal symptoms and everything. There are some clinics nearby that offer a detox that you could do. I believe it is an overnight program. You just stay overnight, detox there, and then you come out the next day, but it is a difficult program. There are 3-day programs as well. The state funds, I believe, a drug and alcohol rehab that you could attend if you were wanting to do something like that. I could definitely make a couple calls and get you set up with something like that. And I think that would be a pretty large step in the right direction with everything. But I think I am very proud of you for even considering stopping for the baby. That is a big step in our session today. But again, I am more than happy to, after this, get together a bunch of resources and services that can help you and the baby with school, pregnancy, rehab, whatever you need. So just let me know which ones that you would like after this. And I really hope that I will see you again, Suzanne. And I really hope you come back and see me and we can see how you are and how everything's going.
I will definitely be back.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please be 20. Okay.